I was told by other people in the disability community to fear devotees.
I mean, even just being attracted to someone's disability isn't necessarily problematic.
How are you going to find a devotee?
I think it seems like people have their own slightly different definition of it.
I'm Sophia. I'm Indy. We're back to show life with a disability. This time we cover travel, housing, babies and relationships. We're still cousins and I'm still Soph's carer. And you guys are coming along for the ride. Have you come across a real clear-cut definition of devotees?
No, and I've read about 20 articles on it.
I feel like the most well-rounded definition we have is someone who is sexually attracted to people with disabilities. And then some people refer to that as a fetish and other people refer to that as not a fetish but just an attraction.
So when I first became disabled, I was told by other people in the disability community to fear devotees. But I've been disabled for 8 years now and I've never had an experience with a devotee. I still don't understand why I need to be scared of them. But the thing is, it's hard to learn about them because no one really wants to talk about it. There is some power in being educated about what a devotee does.
We really learnt that people don't want to talk about devotees. It exists, it's out there, and we wanted to talk about it.
The disabled community is scared the less we know.
Like, some things that I've read kind of sound like there is reason to be afraid. I got some anonymous written statements from people. I think disability devotees and people with these fetishes are very harmful, and it's such a sensitive and upsetting topic. I have been in situations where people have told me, I've always wanted to bang someone like you, or you should be grateful for the male attention. But then on the other hand, this person said, I have no issue with devotees and I don't subscribe to the idea that disabled people are defenseless prey to evil devotees. And it kind of sounds like two different devotees. Do you know what I mean? We should try to find a devotee.
How are you going to find a devotee?
You said you have them follow you all the time on Instagram.
That's true.
And then you like check on their profile and just see pictures of people in wheelchairs and stuff. Someone will talk to us.
Okay, let's start off with talking to my lecturer, Paulette, then.
I'll start hunting for devotees.
Through my Instagram following.
Yeah, and then you can message them. Well, I can't.
True. The one thing I can do that you can't.
Yes.
I wanted to cover this topic because I feel like no one else really covers it.
I feel like you like a challenge. That's why you wanted to do this episode.
Understanding is like a really rich part of life. I'm so excited to introduce you to Paulette. She's my law lecturer at uni and she does like sociology and law, and she does heaps of work in like the sexual, I don't know, sexual...
Gender and sexuality?
Yeah, and like different, I don't know, sexual things.
Okay.
But she's not an expert on devotees. Unfortunately, my university doesn't have a law lecturer that specialises in disability fetishes. Thank you for agreeing to talk to me about my paper. I really enjoyed it, and obviously you did too, because you gave me an A.
Well done.
And I'm really grateful that you gave me the opportunity to do an assignment on devotees. So this paper was really good at helping me kind of open up my understanding. I'd like to talk to you about whether having an attraction to disabled people counts as a fetish.
People can be attracted to people who are disabled, not just because of their disability. And also, disability might elicit in some people compassion or a sense of social justice or empathy. The troubling issue around devotism is that for some people it becomes a fetish and it becomes its own thing. Some people like the suffering and the difficulty or the struggle that disabled people have in the world, and that's part of the attraction.
So then I guess like a massive thing for me is, say I'm dating someone, hopefully they're attracted to me, but that doesn't make them a devotee.
Well, I guess the essence of it is that the attraction, it's the disability that is the attraction rather than, say, the whole of the person. Some people exist in the world in sadomasochist relationships that aren't necessarily problematic as long as they're fully informed and consensual. But there's also ways in which those things become problematic in all sorts of interpersonal relationships, right? The love of power, the interest in vulnerability can become quite dysfunctional in intimate relationships, as we see in all sorts of relationships, not just disability ones.
It's really interesting how you put it. I feel like that's a really clear-cut way of saying that devotees, the sexual attraction itself isn't necessarily the problem, it's what you do with that and how that manifests for that person.
I think it's a spectrum.
So this is a really big question then. As a disabled person, should I be scared of devotees?
Not every devotee is going to hurt you. I mean, unfortunately, at some level, it is about working out the individual, as same as it is in any kind of intimate relationship.
I think what Paulette really did was clarify that it is a spectrum. From my research, I kind of found out that it seems the main activity of devotees is them kind of taking our content from social media and uploading it to fetish platforms where the content is obviously fetishized, which is not the intention of the disabled person that put that content out into the world. So like, I know girls that have put videos of themselves getting in and out of the car up on Instagram, and it's turned up on like a porn website. And that's problematic.
Yeah, but then that's where the spectrum comes in, because then you've got people on the other side who have that attraction to people with disabilities, but they're not acting on it in a dangerous way. If anything, it's just enabling them to have really positive relationships. And those are the disabled people that we've talked to that have had really positive experiences. So there are both sides.
And I think what I want to get out of it is just to give a devotee a opportunity to just explain themselves.
We met Liam over Instagram and we made contact. And we were like, do you want to chat with us? Because we want to know more.
I'm pretty sure I've never spoken to a devotee before, but maybe someone's like slid into my DMs and I didn't know, and I just like walked straight into it. Not walked.
Rolled. Okay, he's ready.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Thanks so much for speaking with us.
Oh, that's all right. Thanks for letting me.
Where do you live? In Australia.
Yeah.
You don't mind if we just hit you with some questions, do you? Because it's a very interesting subject.
You've told us before that you identify yourself as a devotee, is that correct?
Yeah.
Cool. So how would you...
Mostly because it's sort of, that was a term I discovered. I didn't know there was a term early on.
Is there like criteria that you could like check off and then be like, okay, I'm a devotee?
It's one of those, like all communities, I think it seems like people have their own slightly different definition of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think in general, it seems to be an attraction to it, to disability in some way. The easiest way I sort of define or like to say it is it's kind of like having a body type preference, I guess, for me.
Mm-hmm.
So in the way that some people like athletic women or tall women or muscly guys, it's kind of that for me, that it's one of the first things I notice, but it's not all I care about.
Specifically, what is it for you about disabled people?
That's probably the question I've been trying to figure out for a long time. I don't know what it is. I just like how their bodies look and how you move around and that sort of thing. So it's very much a physical thing. A para or quad lifting their leg or something is kind of like liking a woman playing with their boobs or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it's not just about the body either. It's sort of, there's got to be more to it than that for there to be a connection or for me to want to take anything further.
The topic of devotees is quite controversial within the disabled community. There's like a bit of fear kind of circulating from like some people, and then some people have had really super positive experiences and some are more objective or in the middle or don't really know about it.
Do you have any stories or like examples of what it is that people are so scared of that could be happening?
I think the main and most common one is people stealing photos and things along that line, either for, their own use, as bad as that sounds. The complete other spectrum, which is, stalking, where people just get so obsessed that they end up stalking people and it becomes an actual safety issue.
Do you mind also helping us just understand kind of the lighter side of devotism and just maybe how it's had a positive impact on your life and how it can play positively into the lives of the disabled community?
The obvious and most easy answer is it's allowed me to meet people like you guys and other people around the world that I would never have spoken to. I enjoy doing lots of different things, and so I think a lot of us think about accessibility and how to make the place a bit more accessible and the things we like doing more accessible. I think there's a lot of stigma around disability itself. I think there's a similar stigma to being attracted to it. I think that probably also ties into people wanting to be anonymous about it?
It's a big spectrum. Are you proud to be a devotee?
It's kind of a tough question. I guess I'm happy with that side of me because I wouldn't be who I am without it. I've met some lovely people through it, but it is one of those where it gets hard, and I do sort of hate it at times that I am attracted to something that causes people so much pain themselves. Overall, I wouldn't say that I'll be shouting about being one, but I'm not ashamed to be one either.
Thank you so much for speaking with us. This has been so helpful.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah, it's been nice.
Very generous.
Yeah.
I was glad that you were on the call with me because I think going into it, I thought I was going to be like more fine with it. But when I was actually in the call, I was like, oh, this is a little bit weird. Like, I still had my guards up. You know what I mean? Because it is weird talking to someone who outwardly says that they have a fetish for someone in my situation.
Yeah.
But that's no reflection on them.
Yeah. You were quite close to the topic, whereas I had that separation.
And I think he was a good representative of the devotee community.
Why?
Because he was like really willing to give information. He didn't want to hide his face. Like, he owns it. He like respects himself. He respects disabled people.
Yeah, it was really bold and cool of him to show his face.
Yeah, it was powerful. I think what he did was powerful. And I think it is useful for disabled people to see that devotees can look like him. I definitely know disabled people that have had bad experiences. I also know disabled people that have had really good experiences. And then there's me that's just like innocently
Yeah.
clueless.
No experiences.
Yeah.
And obviously none for me either.
But maybe you are a devotee.
Maybe.
I
I'm
hope
not. I'm not. Just to clarify that. But anyway. Okay, here's the accessible beach strip. Okay.
Now what?
Yeah. Like, you can't just go over there and sunbathe with like a group of friends. It's like you're stuck on this strip.
Yeah. For our purposes,
It's a fail. It doesn't count.
yeah, it's not what we need.